Good day, everyone. Welcome to Real Conservative News. I'm your host, Nathaniel Rajkumar. Starting off locally here in Trinidad and Tobago, former Prime Minister and former political leader of the People's National Movement, Dr. Keith Rowley, is standing firm on his claim that he was not invited to the party's 70th anniversary celebrations, despite the party producing evidence to the contrary. They went and celebrated and clapped hands and tailor for the founding of the Eric Williams Balize Tribal Party. Rowley doubled down on his position yesterday, dismissing the PNM's response and suggesting he has not received any formal invitation. His comments come after the PNM issued a detailed statement refuting his initial claim that he had been left out of the milestone event. In response, the PNM maintained that an invitation was in fact issued and delivered to the former leader ahead of the January 26th event. But you see, when it pertains to Rowley, it doesn't matter even if you show him any evidence to him. Once he says something, it has to be true. My response, never. My dear righteous former Emperor Rowley, you have never once lied to us in all your years as supreme leader of PNM country. How could Penny and crew say such a thing? We stand with you, sir. Kakash, are you and Ria doubting the words of your former emperor? How dare you present any sort of evidence that can refute the claims being made by this righteous former emperor, the darling of the PNM, but the entire PNM constituencies, all the constituencies, from Port of Spain to Diego Martin to San Fernando to Arriba, all these areas worshipped Rowley for the past 10 years. And now you want to come and claim that he can lie? Rowley, lie? Never. It's impossible for Rowley to lie. Don't go anywhere. More local, regional, and international news up next. Two major trade unions representing teachers and healthcare workers say they are pressing ahead with protest action as uncertainty continues over salary increases and outstanding back pay for thousands of public sector employees. My response? Tanku continues to be a thorn in the side of the Kamla Prasad administration and has been breaking many of his promises from the moment he was appointed as finance minister. People will say, what am I talking about? Remember when he was saying about refunding people the property tax, and the prime minister had to come out and say, hey, I don't know what you're talking about, you know. You will have to find that money on your own. The man has been putting his foot in his mouth from the very beginning. Prime Minister Kamla Prasad says, I support you in most things that you do. You need to remove this man from his position. I said, Madam Prime Minister, please reshuffle your cabinet before the one-year anniversary of UNC's overwhelming victory on April the 28th. Remove Tanku and Roger Alexander from their positions. Relief is on the way for residents of Lee Cam Road in Memorial who have been experiencing water woes for many years, just like how my family, my relatives up in Babwande, in Sangre Grande, Northeastern Settlement, have been experiencing water woes for about almost more than 5 years now. This comes after a visit from Member of Parliament for the area, Philip Watts, on Tuesday, along with officials from the Couva Tabaki Talparo Regional Corporation and Water and Sewage Authority, WASA. The community of Memorial has experienced water woes for many years. During the visit, the MP assured the residents that their cries had been heard and will be addressed in the shortest possible time. For many years because of the PNM. And PNM neglect didn't just happen for the past 10 years. You know, we're talking about 60 years. You know, they have been in office most of the time for since our independence. You know, people, and yet the PNM tribals always quick to blame the UNC for everything that is happening bad in our country. Regional news up next.
MP Watts led the conversation and the site visit as he engaged the residents in that area, and a couple solutions were put forth, probable solutions they were put forth, such as a tank farm, communal tanks, water harvesting units, and for the various residents in the area, and in the long term, the laying of water mains along that 1.2 kilometer of roadway in Lee Cam Road.
Mr. Rampersad added that the MP met with residents of Kaparu where their needs were also discussed. He explained that focus was placed on the Kaparu recreational ground.
We had a look at the existing facilities and we spoke to some of the members of the community as to their further needs. They are in need of a new pavilion, a jogging track around the Kaparu recreation ground and some other facilities.
The community of Mamaral has experienced water woes for many years. During the visit, the MP assured the residents that their cries have been heard and will be addressed in the shortest possible time. Nicole Duki, TTT News.
For Thursday, March 19, 2026, the weather in Trinidad and Tobago is expected to be generally sunny, slightly hazy, and breezy with the possibility of brisk, isolated showers. General conditions: most areas will see sunny but hazy skies. Winds will be breezy to windy, with gusts possible, especially near any showers. Saharan dust: a mild to moderate concentration of Saharan dust is present in the atmosphere. Sensitive individuals are advised to take necessary precautions. Temperatures: Piarco, expected high of 31 degrees Celsius and low of 23 degrees Celsius. Crown Point, expected high of 30 degrees Celsius and low of 24 degrees Celsius. Marine conditions and alerts. Hazardous seas: a yellow level hazardous seas alert is in effect until 12 p.m. on Thursday. Sea state: seas are expected to be rough, with wave heights reaching up to 3.0 meters in open waters and up to 2.0 meters in sheltered areas. Safety: beachgoers and marine operators should exercise extreme caution due to the risk of strong rip currents and agitated sea surfaces.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines opposition leader Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has raised concerns that the NDP government's budget is placing increased pressure on workers through spending cuts and reduced support in key sectors. Speaking on Star FM on Monday, Dr. Gonsalves pointed to a reported $1 million reduction in wages within the Ministry of Agriculture. Doesn't that mean probably just less staff, probably? I don't know, maybe. Or I hope it's not just you're decreasing people's salaries, because then that would be something bad that you're doing. Prime Minister Dr. Godwin Friday. He warned that this could lead to layoffs or reduced working hours for employees. Well, that had to be the case there. Potentially weakening agricultural productivity and innovation. Dr. Gonsalves further noted that the housing budget has reportedly been cut by more than half. According to him, this reduction is likely to slow housing programs and negatively affect contractors and suppliers who depend on the sector for employment and income. The thing about it is, PNM and the affiliates like Dr. Gonsalves are always concerned about these things when out of office, when they are in the opposition. They commit much more serious acts, things that adversely affect a nation's economy and the population while in government.
And anybody who has a copy of the estimates can go and look at page 359 of the 2026 estimates. You would see that the allocation for wages under this is the area where you have the workers at Orange Hill, you're having them at Sanssouci, you're having them at Dumbarton, you're having them at Walilabu, and so on. Lots of workers. Yep. They budgeted $3,765,000 this year. But the estimates for last year, the revised estimates, showed $3.973 million, nearly $1 million more than what they allocate this year. I told them in the budget, I said, because it's an ongoing housing program, this money which you put there is not enough to do what remains to be done for the housing. I said, we have a number of houses unfinished. And when we began with about a number of 5,000 houses, some residue from Beryl, from Soufre, plus Beryl. But during the period of time, the number has arisen in terms of actual assessment on the ground, and people who are coming in. A number reaching close to 7,000. That's what I made the point very clear to them in the parliament.
Magistrate pushes ahead with extradition hearing in Guyana despite defense attorney's absence. All kind of tricks they're trying, you know. Extradition proceedings involving businessman Nazar Mohammed and his son Azuddin Mohammed continued on Wednesday at the Georgetown Magistrates Court, despite the absence of defense attorney Sian Dejon, who represents Nazar. All of a sudden, you just missing, trying to delay everything. Timing, they're playing for time, people, just like how Iran was playing for time, but time up. Defense attorney senior counsel Roysdale Ford informed the court that Dejon would not be attending, having only just seen a message from him indicating his absence. Principal Magistrate Judy Latchman nonetheless ordered that the hearing proceed. Well done, ma'am. The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation has completed works on 33 roads to date under the road maintenance project at a cost of 90 million Jamaican dollars. Mayor Andrew Swaby says work has been done in 17 divisions. He was speaking at the recently monthly sitting of KSAMC at the entity's downtown Kingston offices. A sum of $220 million has been allocated to the program, which will include road repairs across all 40 divisions. So at the end of the day, good is being done. And I believe this even started before Hurricane Melissa destroyed a lot of areas in Jamaica. So you know it's going to have to be certain areas that you probably already did work on. You might have to also do overwork there as well. And not just in the city and the suburbs. I'm telling you, they need to focus a whole lot more on the rural areas in Jamaica. The 2026 sugar harvest officially began on Tuesday with canes being delivered at Port Vale Factory in Blowers, St. James. Chairman of the Barbados Sugar Industry Limited, Mark Seeley, confirmed this, stating they were told by officials that they could have begun cutting canes from yesterday. The majority of our harvesters were out delivering canes to the factory, he said. However, Seeley said they were already facing challenges with the heavy traffic on the roads, not just in peak hours, but all throughout the day, which is slowing down deliveries to the factory. Now, a little island like Barbados still producing sugar. What we are doing here in Trinidad and Tobago currently closed down. Why? Because of P&M. Everything P&M. The opposition leader in Bahamas, Michael Pintard, is dishing out harsh criticism over the state of the country's health care, putting Health Minister Dr. Michael DeVille on the defense. Now, the thing about it is, remember, at this point in time, I'm not really aware much about the politics in Bahamas. I don't know if the opposition is like PNM here, who always just a concern while they're in opposition, or if there are actual legitimate or valid reasons to be concerned about the neglect or the incompetence of the present regime in Bahamas. As time goes by, especially after the elections, and whoever wins, I might be able to give even more commentary on this issue. But if it is true that the healthcare is being neglected in the Bahamas, then of course, maybe the population may decide to vote for the opposition and give them an opportunity to be able to govern the country and fix the issues like how the UNC is fixing here in Trinidad.
The healthcare system has been in 40 years. Madam Speaker, not one healthcare professional, not just persons in the doctor's rank, but the nurse's rank and others, those who have lived for decades working in the system, using the system. They've made the point that the present state of the healthcare system, wrap your mind around that, is the worst it has been in 40 years, Madam Speaker.
Minister Dr. Michael Darville then rising on a point of order, accusing Pintard of echoing the opinions of others, specifically union leaders. Darville saying it's not fair to say the entire system is failing because of some challenges.
Much work has been done in the healthcare services in the last 4.5 years. And so we cannot hold two individuals as a factual certainty in the entire healthcare system, because there's thousands of individuals that make up the system, and there's thousands of Bahamians who benefit from the system. And so to make a dogmatic statement like that because two people have quoted it as being the worst in 40 years mean that it is actually the worst in 40 years. I beg to differ.
International news now. The FBI is investigating former National Counter-Terrorism Center Director Joe Kent over allegations that he leaked classified information, according to 3 sources familiar with the matter. The probe predates Kent's departure from government, sources told Fox News. So this isn't just about a witch hunt or anything like that because of how he's made certain statements recently or resigned people. The investigation was launched prior to that. Kent resigned Tuesday from his role as the nation's top counter-terrorism official, stating opposition to the U.S. war against Iran. So most likely you know what that means. He's most likely not a leftist, but he's part of the QAnon far-right movement, which are Putin lovers, Russian lovers, jihadist lovers, people like Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, who do not support Israel and believe that Israel is actually controlling America at this point in time and getting America involved in unnecessary wars. In a public statement, Kent said he cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war, arguing that Iran posed no imminent threat and that the conflict marked a break for the administration's prior approach to avoiding prolonged wars in the Middle East. Yeah, okay then. So it's okay to allow Iran to continue enriching uranium, even though it has been recognized and proven and verified by international bodies as well, sir? That makes sense to you? The senior administration official previously told Fox News Digital that Kent was a known leaker who had been cut out of intelligence briefings months before his resignation. So you know that when the fox can't get the grapes, it's sour. Yes. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard declined to say whether intelligence showed that Iran posed an imminent threat to the U.S. prior to the launch of recent offensive operations, as President Trump repeatedly has asserted. The only person who can determine what is and is not an imminent threat is the president, Gabbard said. The White House has repeatedly argued Iran's nuclear stockpiles and ballistic missile capacity pose an imminent threat to the U.S., but that's common sense, people. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, Trump said on March 1st. Ossoff pressed Gabbard further Wednesday, asking, was it the intelligence community's assessment there was an imminent threat, nuclear threat, yes or no? It is not the intelligence community's responsibility to determine what is and is not an imminent threat, Gabbard said. Gabbard highlighted the impact of U.S. operations in Iran. The IC assesses that Operation Epic Fury is advancing fundamental change in the region. She said Iran's conventional military power projection capabilities have been largely destroyed, leaving limited options. Iran's strategic position has been significantly degraded. CIA Director John Ratcliffe struck a more assertive tone at the hearing. Now, bear in mind, even though she kind of ignored, didn't give a precise answer, she does show that she supports what is taking place, but the dismantling of the capabilities of the Iranian terrorist Ayatollah regime to be able to attack America or neighboring countries. Is there anything to indicate that Iran had ceased in its nuclear ambitions or in its desire to continue to build ballistic missiles capable of threatening American troops and allies in the Middle East? Senator John Cornyn, Texas, asked the Ratcliffe. He answered, no, in fact, the intelligence reflects the contrary. I mean, we were hearing it all in the news that they continue to chant death to Israel and death to America, and they were going to boldly continue enriching uranium. He said, I think Iran has been a constant threat to the United States for an extended period of time and pose an immediate threat at this time, he later added. Top administration officials have argued that Iran was building up its missile stockpiles to a point where foreign powers could no longer effectively intervene. The state of Qatar expresses its strong condemnation and denunciation of the blatant Iranian attack targeting Ras Laffan industrial city, which caused fires resulting in significant damage to the facility. Says it did not just targeted U.S. bases, which was wrong in any case, because those are sovereign countries. Many of those countries that actually support Iran. But the Ayatollah regime don't care about friends or allies. Qatar considers this attack a dangerous escalation, a flagrant violation of its sovereignty, and a direct threat to its national security and regional stability. The ministry reiterates that the state of Qatar reserves its right to respond. My response, meanwhile, tribal tradies continue to support the radical jihadist Ayatollah regime. Tribalism, people, is truly demonic, because I can't understand how they're seeing the Ayatollah regime attacking their own friends in the region, and people still blaming America for it. These individuals, these countries, voluntarily welcomed America's protection bases in their respective territories, people, countries, nations, So why it is people still defending the Ayatollah for attacking these sovereign nations, many of whom were either staying out completely from the war and saying, we either condemn it or we have nothing to say. And then the Iranian allies will actually telling Trump, do not invade, do not attack. And yet the Ayatollah continues to attack these friends, their own friends and their own sponsors of terrorism. That's how evil the Ayatollah regime is. Now for the interesting facts segment, expendable diamond jewelry is redefining luxury by combining design with engineering. One standout piece transforms from a compact ring into a full bracelet using interlocking rose gold segments set with diamonds valued around $85,000. I will never be able to afford that. Each segment, and I will never go anywhere in public with it. Each segment, even if I could have afforded it, each segment moves independently, allowing smooth expansion and contraction while maintaining strength, symmetry, and precision. The transformation is mechanical rather than purely decorative, showcasing advanced craftsmanship. Collectors are drawn to its versatility and exclusivity, owning a single piece that adapts across occasions, blending innovation, function, and elegance in modern high-end jewelry. You can imagine walking through Port of Spain with that. It's gone.
Welcome to Real Conservative News Travel Adventures. Rio de Janeiro, the marvelous city of Brazil, is a vibrant metropolis combining dramatic mountain scenery, iconic beaches, and high-energy culture. Key highlights include visiting Christ the Redeemer, riding the Sugarloaf cable car, exploring historic Santa Teresa, and relaxing on Copacabana or Ipanema beaches, all best experienced between April and November. Iconic landmarks, the Christ the Redeemer statue on Corcovado Mountain and the sunset views from Sugarloaf Mountain are must-sees. Popular beaches, Copacabana and Ipanema are world famous for their lively atmosphere, sand volleyball, and local beach culture, posto culture.
Folks, that brings us to the end of today's news report. Thanks again to everyone who continues to support my content. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Stay blessed and stay safe most of all. In Jesus' name.